campaigning. And I want to thank Ashley Parker for all her hard work. Let's give Ashley a round of applause. And I'm going to turn it over to Ashley Parker.
Hey everybody, I just want to welcome you here tonight and thank you for coming. Let's just open up with a word of prayer. Dear God, thank you for bringing us here tonight. Thank you for these candidates and their families. Thank you for their sacrifice, for stepping forward, trying to make a change in their communities, and caring about where they live and the people that they live around. We ask that you give their families and the candidates strength and courage in these next couple of weeks. It's tiring and it makes you weary with all the campaigning and the stress on families and things like that. Lord, I just ask that you hold each one of them and you keep them strong through these next couple of weeks. And I ask that tonight that all things bring glory to you. And in these things I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. We are here tonight as Republican women. We've got several Republican women in the audience. And then the Southern County Republican Club is here also. Brian Hicks, the president, that's here. And he wanted me to remind you that this, for them, is in lieu of their meeting tomorrow night. So the Southern County Republican Club will not meet tomorrow night. This is their meeting. I guess we'll go ahead and get started. If the candidates want to come forward and sit where their names are, and our moderator also, we can assume the positions. And just to let y'all know, the candidates know, but we're going to do 2 minutes for the introductory statement, so they'll get to speak for 2 minutes. And then after that, they'll have questions. They'll have 90 seconds to answer their question. Deborah will have her little buzzer that will go off if anybody goes over, which we do not encourage. Your microphone could be needed. And then at the end, there'll be 2 minutes closing statements. We're going to rotate the schedule of how they go, so not the same person doesn't have to go first, last, etc., etc. I think that's it. Is that anything else? Anything else you need to say? No? Okay. All right, well, let's get started. I'm going to turn it over to Sam Reichert, the former mayor of Olive Branch, also known as the weather mayor. And he has graciously volunteered to be our moderator tonight. I can't think of anybody better to do that job for us. So I will give it away to Sam.
Thank you, Ashley. Good to be here tonight. Good to have all of you here tonight. And on behalf of the Mayor of Olive Branch, we welcome you to the City of Olive Branch Municipal Courtroom for this debate sponsored by the DeSoto County Republican Women and Republican Club. So Ashley explained the format. We're going to move right into the agenda tonight. And each candidate will have 2 minutes to make an opening statement. And we have timekeepers right down front. They'll hold up a sign when it's within 30 seconds. And then when time expires, there's some kind of tone, I think, that's played by those high-tech iPhones out there. So we're going to get into the opening statement portion. Each of you have 2 minutes. And we will begin with is Mr. Ferguson here? Okay. We will then begin with Mr. Johnson, Mayor Johnson.
Okay. First, thank you to the Republican Women and the Republican Club for hosting this. I think it's important that as Republicans we get in front of you so you can know who the candidates are for the primary. Real quick, I'll just tell you all my background because a lot of people seem to have forgotten it. I was right out of high school in the United States Navy Submarine Force where I served for 6 years under President Reagan and Bush. After that, I came back and purchased the company that I worked for while I was in high school. I owned that company for 21 years, and as part of that, in 2004, we won the Franchisee of the Year for the entire company in the United States, which was a big honor for our company. And I was elected alderman in 2001, served 1 term, and after that, I was elected mayor in 2005. Since becoming mayor, there have been a lot of great things happening in Orlando, and I can't take credit for all of them. We have a good team with our board of aldermen and our staff, lot of things going on in Hernando. I can't list them all in 2 minutes, but I think that our scorecard is our property values. I feel like if we're doing everything right as a government, that's going to show in property values. I think everybody knows the property values in Hernando are strong and on the rise. And I want to continue doing that good work and making all of our property more valuable, because most people's home is their biggest investment. Y'all know that Hernando has branded itself as the healthiest city in Mississippi, which is a little bit of a dubious honor, but we were awarded that in 2010. And people still seem to be flocking to Hernando because they want to be in a place that's branded as a healthy city, which has been a little bit surprising. So we're going to continue with that work as well. Last thing I'll mention is that we do have a parks department with a lot of programs: baseball, soccer, t-ball, basketball, and none of that existed when I became mayor. We started that parks department from scratch, and everything you see is new since my tenure started.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to candidate from Horn Lake, Mr. Geis.
My name's Michael Geis. I'm gonna stand up because I'm short. You probably can't see me. My name's Michael Geis. I'm one of the candidates for mayor for the city of Horn Lake. And I'd like to thank the Republican Women for another great event for us to get to meet the citizens. And I appreciate the turnout here today. It's the biggest I've seen so far. A little bit on my background. I graduated from Coahoma County High School in Clarksdale, Mississippi in 1983. I went immediately in the Marine Corps, served 4 years there. When I got out, I went to college at Delta State and obtained a bachelor's degree in criminal justice there, and that's where I started my law enforcement career. I worked at Delta State, Greenville Police Department, and moved to Horn Lake in 1992, where I stayed until I retired in 2013. Along the way, I got a master's degree from Arkansas State in public administration. My background is not in politics. I've not ever even run for office before, but I am a lifelong government employee, and most of it was spent in Horn Lake, so I know the problems and issues there and the positive things. The reason why I'm running is that I do not like the direction the way our city is headed. We have issues with some crime. We do not attract the businesses like the other cities in DeSoto County. And our streets and infrastructure are in a state of decay. And I just have not seen anything in the last 4 years that appears to be going in a positive direction, and my intent is to change that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Latimer is not present at this time, so we'll move to candidate from South Haven, Mr. Henley.
Hi there, I'm Tommy Henley. I'm graduated from South Haven High. I attended Northwest, back when it was Northwest Junior College. I attended my hazmat qualifications from the University of Tennessee. I'm running for mayor of South Haven, not necessarily against the present administration, because I have a different vision for South Haven. I have a vision of of the South of the community being safe. I'd like to see manufacturing come to South Haven, where average people can make a good wage. I want to lower the cost of living in South Haven, and I also believe in a city that needs limited government.
Okay. Thank you. Mayor Musselwhite.
I'm Darren Musselwhite. I'm the current mayor of South Haven, and as Mayor Johnson said, I will try to go through everything that's been accomplished the last 4 years with my board of aldermen. It's a long list. In 2 minutes, I can't tell you about everything that we've done. You can go to mayormusselwhite.com and read all the details there about what we've done, and also about my personal bio and my history. I will tell you, and this is something that you've heard me say before during this election, it's amazing to me that some people have forgotten 2013 in our city. When I came to the city of South Haven and offered myself as a candidate, our city was in the midst of corruption, scandal, and enormous negativity. I'm not a politician. That was my first time to ever run for political office. And I'll be honest with you, people came to me and asked me to do it. It was never in my long plan to be the mayor of South Haven or take any political role. I honestly did it because people came to me and I knew my city needed help, and I stepped up and we did that. And I I will tell you then, the early days there were TV cameras at the door. They wanted to continue on with the negative stories, so it's not an easy assignment. We worked through that, and I can promise you now, I can't beg the TV cameras to come back. Even I try to get them to cover the positive stories, and they're not there. So a lot of changes have occurred, and all the vital signs are good. I mean, regardless of what you hear during this campaign, the facts are the facts. All the vital signs in our city are good. Along with my board's help, we truly brought back our great reputation in South Haven, and I'm proud to say that that it's it would be my honor, to continue moving forward. And the progress has been phenomenal. Again, and vital signs. That's what you look at. Look at the big picture. Look at the numbers. They don't lie. Don't listen to what you hear in a campaign. Look at the vital signs. They're all good, and I'm excited for the chance to carry on with another 4 years of that.
Thank you. Mr. Weifenbach?
I'm James Weifenbach. I haven't been here lifelong, citizen of South Haven, but I am running for South Haven because I believe I can run a little bit better than anyone else. I've seen the varsity. I've been all over this country and lived in big cities, small towns. I've seen what works. I know what doesn't work. And what's going to happen here is all this economic growth is fine and dandy if you have a middle class that can withstand it. And here's the middle class, here's financial for the middle class, making $75,000. We got 25% federal income tax, 7.65 Social Security and Medicare tax, 5% state tax. That's $28,238. And then the net income is $46,762. The top three expenditure for a middle class family: $1,200 a month mortgage, $1,200 a month average about for health care insurance for premium copay. And then everyone wants to trade a vehicle in. They're going to have $800 a month for each vehicle. I'm figuring for one vehicle. That's $38,400 for the top three expenditures. That comes to a total of $66,638 for taxes and top three expenditures. Leaves the income left with $8,362 for the entire year. And that's not even counting all the other stuff, like utilities and cell phone, landline, internet, and so forth. They're not counting all that stuff. So basically, a $75,000 a year middle class family got to swipe a credit card to buy groceries, they're broke, and they cannot sustain the trouble.
Thank you. Mayor Latimer, you have 2 minutes for an opening statement.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. I'm proud of what Hornbeck has accomplished in the last 4 years. Our city is a lot cleaner. We've been making a strenuous effort with code enforcement. We're having a lot more volunteers in our city to participate in bringing our community together. The parks, we made a sustained effort to rejuvenate our parks, to have many programs in our parks. Again, this is part of our effort to bring our citizens together, to get them involved, to get them to have pride in our city, and to participate. We are ranked as the 6th safest city in the state of Mississippi. Our police have done an excellent job. We have made great progress economically. I'm sure most of you have been through Horn Lake. You've seen the new businesses, the new Walmart. They rejuvenated the Kroger store. I think they spent about $4 million to do that. We have Circle G Ranch is still on track, still planning. On Highway 51, we have a new development called Core 5, and it's built out. It's going to be a $125 million investment. Should generate several hundred jobs, and of course, plenty of tax dollars to enable us to do even more. I am so proud of the progress that our city is making. We are working right now on trying to solve our flooding problem. It's a lot better, but we've been working with Senator Cochran Conference in Wicker, Representative Kelly, the Corps of Engineers. I know our roads need work. We just didn't have enough money. We're having to work with the Memphis MPO so we can afford to repair roads as we go along. Nail Road will be milled and overlaid for more. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank all of you for your opening statements. The next question that I ask will be answered by each of you, and I will just move from my right to my left. So the first one to answer the question will be Mayor Johnson. Is there ever a tax you can support, and do you draw a distinction between a user tax, which is a fee willingly paid by users, as opposed to a tax paid unilaterally by taxpayers in general?
Well, there's definitely a distinction between the two. I think you just said what it is. I think my definition of taxes, and I'm going to be very elementary. I speak to second graders a lot. That definition has always helped me. Taxes, in their purest form, are supposed to be a way that people save money. And I know that sounds backwards, but none of us here can afford to keep a fireman and a policeman stationed in our driveway to protect just us. So you give us money in the form of taxes, we provide a police and fire department that we all share, which makes our costs lower. That's the way taxes are supposed to work. It's things that we want to share with each other, share the cost of. And I think when the citizens decide that there's a service that they want, that most of them want, we know 100% of the people are never going to want the same thing. But when the citizens are asking for a tax, well, certainly the citizens are in charge. That's when you say, okay, most of the citizens want it, and you give it to them. That doesn't happen very often. So I would think that when the citizens stand up and say, we need some products and services, which actually happened a few years ago in Hernando, they convinced the Board of Aldermen to raise the taxes because they were convinced that we were not wasting any of their tax dollars and we were out of money, and they wanted more services. So when the citizens demand more services and know that we're effectively spending the money they're already giving us and not wasting it, that's probably the only time I would be for taxes.
Mr. Geis, if any of you would like me to repeat the question, I will.
I think I'm probably like everyone else in the room. I'd prefer to keep my money in my own pocket if I could, but government does need funding to be able to operate, and there are essential services that we all expect. So to me, the issue isn't as much as is there a tax that I would support. I would support anyone that actually does what it is supposed to do. In my opinion, I don't mind paying taxes as long as I'm getting the service that I am paying for. Properly funded police department, roads that you can drive on, and things like that. So the issue is not taxes, in my opinion. It's what we're getting when we pay them.
Thank you. Mr. Ladman?
Yes, there are circumstances when I would support a tax increase. We just had one in Horn Lake 3 years ago, 4 mills, just so we could meet our bills and have improvements in our city and in some of our departments. That tax was necessary. We just unfortunately did not get our hotel motel tax renewed. I don't really look on that as a tax. That was a $2 a night room fee. It didn't really bother our citizens when they went out. The only people it affected were the people who spent the night in a hotel or a motel, and that money went into our economic development fund. Certainly wish it had been passed, but it didn't pass this year. We will try again next year. Generally, just like I'm sure most people up here, I am not in favor of a tax increase unless the citizens see that money put to good use. They can see a tangible result of their sacrifice, which a tax increase is. But sometimes they are necessary to keep our community safe and to improve our quality of life.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Henry?
Yes, I'm like I said before, I'm for limited government. So the only way I would be willing to support a tax increase is if it went before a vote for the people, and let the people decide
obviously a clear distinction between property taxes and consumption taxes. That's why I'm proud to say in the city of South Haven, we've maintained our property tax millage rate. It's not changed, it's still at 43.73. With that being said, that's been my goal, to promote economic development where you do increase your sales tax revenue, which enables you to have a stable property tax rate. People that have disposable income, that's not an issue. They can go out and they can do that. Keeping the property tax rate stable benefits all those that do not have as much disposable income. But as far as as to whether or not I would support a tax increase, I'm going to do what's best for my city. I'm going to look at consider complete information and protect our quality of life. So my goal is to not raise property taxes, but I'm going to make decisions based on complete information. And with that being said, I will say that there are some out there that believe in cutting taxes, that the word tax is a bad thing. Well, sometimes it can be just as financially irresponsible to cut taxes as to raise taxes. So please keep that in mind.
Thank you, Mr. Weifenbach.
Well, Thomas Jefferson said that when you start subsidizing people's taxes, that's when you end up with corruption. And that's what we see now. With all the taxes that we pay, all we see is one subsidy after another subsidy after another subsidy. And it's all corruption. Now, I have to give Muswatch some credit. He got rid of some of that corruption, and we're grateful.
Thank you.
And, but I also got to remember what the U.S. Supreme Court said to Congress in, it's in the early 1900s, against the very first federal income tax that they struck down, saying that government cannot tax the citizen or his sovereignty, which is anything he's owned or has property, personal property, anything he has right to. So that there's an amendment added to the Constitution or to the consent. So if it's not against our, we don't give permission, I'm not for it.
Thank you. Now we enter the phase where we had questions submitted for each individual city, and then we're going to move through this in a random fashion. The first question goes to the city of Hernando. Mayor Johnson. There were several questions received about the traffic in Hernando, particularly on Commerce. What is your opinion on a bypass, or do you have another alternative?
Yes, and there are some of my flyers sitting right out front, and because traffic is such an issue in Hernando, my entire handout, or push card if you will, is about $23 million worth of approved traffic projects that are underway now. One of those is on Commerce Street. If you'll remember, all along Goodman Road, they're synchronizing the signals. Hernando is the only city not on Goodman Road, so Commerce Street is getting the signals synchronized in Hernando. That's going to be from the square all the way over to Mackinvale. That project is underway on the same time frame as Goodman. So once those signals are synchronized, that's going to help that traffic. Also, we have talked to the highway commissioner into engineering a new exit at Commerce. That engineering is underway. The design is underway for that right now. It's probably going to be a $25 million project, so I need all of your help to help me lobby the state and the feds for that $25 million. But it is being designed as we speak. And they have bought the right-of-way for a Mackinvale Road exit at 269, which will be going out for bid shortly. So if you can picture 269 opening in the fall of 18 with an exit at Mackinvale, many of the people on the east side of town are not going to come through that Commerce Street exit anymore. They're going to head up to that exit if they're heading to Memphis for work. So all of those things combined are really going to lighten the load on the Commerce Street traffic.
Thank you, sir. Next question goes to Mr. Geist, City of Horn Lake. Bullfrog Corner area has been plagued by flooding after heavy rains in the past. What are your suggestions or plans of how to prevent this in the future?
That has been a long time problem in the city of Horn Lake since I've been there. The first thing we would have to do is make sure all our ditches, the creeks and everything are kept cleaned out. That causes problems. Also, we need to lobby the federal government, the state, for more funding to be able to help with those issues. We've lost several businesses due to flooding. I hear a lot of complaints from citizens about their homes being flooded. So it should be one of the top priorities for the city. So definitely lobbying the state, federal
I miss earmarks, to be honest with you, I really miss earmarks. But we have been trying to coordinate efforts, between the Corps, between the city of Horn Lake, and between our congressional delegation to alleviate some of these problems. We have, in the last 4 years, purchased a machine with a big cutter head, and that's what it's been doing for the last 3 years. Like the last 3 years is cleaning out the ditches, and so we hope and we pray that in the future we'll have more cooperation from federal and state authorities to help us alleviate these things. And we have a drawing that was done several years ago for retention and detention areas along Horn Lake Creek. Just gotta work with them to get the money to do it.
Thank you. Next question is South Haven issue, and first gentleman will ask to answer this is Mr. Henley. How do you plan to address the lack of affordable housing, among other resources, for individuals with disabilities?
That question is a complicated one, being that we'd probably have to have state assistance to address that fully. I'm against Section 8 housing in South Haven. To be honest with you, that would be something that would be on a federal level.
Thank you. Mayor Musselwhite?
That's something that we've not had a lot of experience with the last 4 years, but that's something that is a tremendous need for our country and our city. And I'd like to, give credit to President Trump. During his campaign, he mentioned that we don't take care of our vets, and that ties in with a lot of our disabled vets and our housing for disability or for disabled people. So there's actually some plans that have been presented to me. They've not gone through the planning director process yet, but there are things now in the works that are a type of housing that is federally subsidized, that we have places in our city that we could have a proper place for that. So I'm excited. It's still new. We don't have the details, but there are opportunities that we could have that type of housing in the city of South Haven. But I'd be the first to tell you that at this point, we do not have a lot of options there, other than the fact that, with our building code, with the ADA responsibilities, we do have those features in the current building code.
Mr. Weifenbach?